Guess who? TS here with all due respect back on the air. I'm sure you thought, where the hell has this guy been? I know you've just been desperate to see me again. Well, here I am. This one's kind of a shorty. I was talking to my daughter, and this is a story that I've told. In fact, most of these stories, anyone who knows me says, I said, geez, did you watch that With All Due Respect thing? And if anyone who's known me more than, 10 years, they'll go, yeah, I've heard it about 15 times. So whatever. Anyway, I was talking to my daughter a couple of 3 weeks ago, or whatever, and we were reminiscing about her and her mom and my late wife. About one of the first dates that I took her on. And we told the story and we laughed and whatever. And she said to me, gee, Dad, that'd be a great one for With All Due Respect. And I said, man, I don't know. Whatever. I've been pretty lazy about doing these, as obviously you would know, because I haven't put any out in months. But here it is. So this is kind of a short one. Anyway, I was in the Navy. I'm, right out of high school. I left high school early. Never mind, I got my GED in the Navy. So I am educated, regardless of what you people think. But anyway, I'm in the Navy, and I'm, 18, I think, maybe 19 years old. And my wife, my late wife, Kathy, was at that time either 17 and a half or 18 years old. And I was home on leave, and it was August in upstate New York. Lived just outside, as you guys now know, outside of Mechanicville. We lived in Mechanicville. And I decided that I was going to take her to a very swanky, fabulous restaurant in Saratoga Springs. Now, Saratoga Springs is where they run all of the thoroughbreds in August each year. Have been doing it for 130 some years or whatever. But and it is the place to be in August in Saratoga. And I had somehow or another heard about this restaurant that had been open for about a year or so called the Tradewinds. And it had gotten terrific reviews, and it was the hot spot. One of the hot spots in Saratoga. Now, all the Vanderbilts are there, and all of the bigwigs from New York City have summer homes up there and the whole thing. And so I say to Kathy, I said, you know what, Kath, let's have dinner Saturday night. She said, gee, that'd be a great idea. And I said, you know what, why don't we go to the Tradewinds? And now she had heard of the Tradewinds as well. Believe me, back in the day, I wasn't reading restaurant reviews, okay? So I don't know how the hell I heard of it. Probably my Uncle Al told me. Anyway, a whole nother story. So we decided so let's go. So off we go. She said, well, what time? And I said, well, I don't know, 7 o'clock, 7:30 or something like that. So we drive up to Saratoga. I've got the Plymouth Belvedere with roll-up windows, okay? So we decided not to valet park. Anyway, we parked the car and we walk in, and I've got the, really bad kind of blue cardboard suit on, from Robert Hall, I think, Now, Kathy, looked great. I have to say that. I was attempting to look great, but at $29.50 for a suit, you probably don't look that good. But regardless, so I made up for it in the years distant. So in we walk to this place, the Tradewinds. Beautiful place, on Broadway, which is kind of like the main drag. Was outside of the downtown area, but just outside. It was just beautiful. And we walk in, and the front desk is there, and so I walked to the front desk, and I said, and the hostess, said, "Yes, may I help you?" And I said, "Yes, I'd like to a table for two, for dinner." And she looks at me and goes, "Oh, good. Uh, Reservation would be under what name?" And I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Well, you've made a reservation, I assume." And I went, "No, I haven't. Quite frankly, I don't think I knew what the hell a reservation was, okay? The joints I ate at, were, you walked in like bubbles. You walked in, you sat down at the counter, and you ate, all right? That was, I didn't know what a reservation was. So she kind of, feeling a little bit bad for me, I'm sure, because I have this nice, beautiful young woman next to me. And she said, "Well, you know what? We're awful busy right now." And again, quite frankly, it's 7:30, quarter to 8, only at the wheelhouse of their, busy time. But she said to me, "Why don't I take your name and I'll put your name down, and if you'd care to, why don't you could have a couple of drinks at the bar, and we'll call you when your table is ready." And I thought, well, geez, that's really nice of her. I said to Kathy, "Wasn't that fabulous of her? That's just terrific." I thought she was doing me a favor. So off to the bar we go, and we wound up standing up for about the first 20 minutes or whatever, because the bar was packed as well. Finally weasel our way into a couple of seats at the bar, and we start drinking. We're having, whatever, hard liquor drinks, okay? I don't even know what the hell we were drinking, but we're having hard liquor drinks, And I think I was drinking CC on the rocks back in the day. And whatever Kathy was drinking, I think she had wine or whatever it was. Well, that was, as I said, when we got there, it was about a quarter to 8. And lo and behold, next thing I know, I'm looking at my watch, which was, I'm sure, a Timex, keeps what was that saying now? See, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Anyway, I look at my Timex, and it's now about, say, quarter to 10, 10 o'clock. The place seems to be thinning out a little bit. I mean, by this time now, I've probably had about 6 drinks, okay, or 5 drinks. And it was thinning out a bit. And I thought, geez, you know what? This woman never came back and told us that our table was ready. So I went over and I said to her, "Yeah, I came in, Mr. Salvador, oh, yeah." I think she forgot about us, quite frankly. And so she said, "Well, you know what? The table will be ready in just a few moments. If you don't mind waiting again." I said, No, we're at the bar, not a problem. So back to the bar we go and have another drink. Okay. So probably about 10:25 or so, we get called. We walk into the main dining room. There's us and 6 other couples, stragglers, who are, all done eating and, making lots of noise and probably loaded as well. And whatever. Now, I'm doing this, see, to impress my wife, all right? I had a few extra bucks, and I'm doing this to impress my wife. Anyway, we sit down at the at our table. Fortunately, the table was only about 3 tables away from the kitchen door. So I could see it swinging, but I couldn't see in the kitchen. So, they gave us really a quality table as well. I think it was that $26 cardboard suit I was wearing that might have had them push me over on the side. But so the waitress comes over. Now, you can imagine now, by this time it's, 10:30-ish, whatever. This waitress has been running around like a crazy person. And she comes over and says, "Well, welcome to the Tradewinds, and wonderful to have you. And can I start you with a drink?" And I look at her and I said, "Yes. Now, I want to go upscale now. I've been drinking whatever, Jack Daniels over at the bar, okay, and Kathy was having wine, and I said, you know what, let's make this kind of romantic. Now, I didn't say that to Kathy, I didn't say it to the waitress, but I looked at her and I said, yes, let us have 2 cocktails. And she's got the pad, you know. Yeah. And she's looking at me like this. And and she said to me, you would like what? I said, 2 cocktails. Now, before I go to the next part of the story, I will tell you, every movie that I ever saw from the time, and I became kind of a movie nut, every movie I ever saw, okay, when they walked into a bar, they said, let us have 2 cocktails, okay? And the bartender automatically, you know, he's shaking, drinking, whatever, and brings them right over. I thought it was a name of a drink, cocktails. So I was going to be upscale and I was ordering 2 cocktails. Now, this waitress, obviously, by this time, didn't take more than the second time when I said, no, just 2 cocktails. She's probably thinking to herself, now, who is this moron? How did I get him? How did I get this table? But whatever. Now she's got the pad, and she said, would that be like a martini? I said, yes, 2 martinis, because I knew I was failing badly. So we started off this after about close to 2 hours of drinking. We start off, or 3 hours close to drinking. We start off our meal with 2 martinis. Thank you very much. End of the story. Oh, and by the way, I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing.